Hello, I'm Jason from StrataGames, and today we are playing some more Pauper. I've been loving Grixis Affinity in Pauper ever since I first played it on the channel. It's a really fun deck. I've even managed to get a trophy with it, but I decided to ditch the blue entirely and make Rakdos Affinity. So this is kind of a combination between Grixis Affinity and Kuldotha Red. We are playing Galvanic Blasts, of course, but we are also playing Tomb Raiders, Lightning Bolts, and Voldaren Epicures, so that we have the aggro artifact creatures from Red, and we also have potential for a burn finisher. We also have Experimental Synthesizer. This deck is all 1-drops, some 2-drops, and affinity cards. So you do need to be a little bit more careful with your synths. In Kuldotha, you can play it pretty easily on turn 2, and you know you're going to hit a 1-drop you can play. In this deck, you want to be a little bit more conscious of, one, what is your artifact count? Because if you turn up a Mirror Enforcer, you really don't want that to go to waste. And also you need to make sure that you have at least 2 mana for a Deadly Dispute or an Ichor Wellspring. So the synths are coming out a little bit later in this matchup. Strange as it may be, we are playing Blood Fountains. Yes, this is an aggro deck. Blood Fountain lets you absolutely turbo out any of your affinity creatures. Great for Mirror Enforcers, but even just getting a turn 2 familiar out as well as playing a Blood Fountain is really easy and very powerful. And even though we're aggro, games go long sometimes, and Blood Fountain can pick up 2 of your key creatures, just like in a Grixis Affinity deck, and it's still really powerful. We have cut down on our card draw, but we do still have Ichor Wellsprings because they're great for affinity and card draw, and our Deadly Disputes because they're a fantastic card. We have 1 Fanatical Offering. Honestly, I was originally playing 17 lands in this deck, and I was getting super flooded, so I cut to 16, and it's, I think, going to work really well. So I threw 1 Fanatical Offering in that slot. 16 lands is fewer than I play in my Kuldotha deck, so that's a little strange to me, seeing as we have all these high affinity cards. But we do still have a very low to the ground curve, and between Blood Fountains, Voldaren Epicures with blood tokens we can discard to draw, synths, Deadly Disputes, Ichor Wellsprings, we have a lot more card draw than it looks. We also have the Familiars, which can draw us a card if our opponent is out of cards. It may seem a little odd to have these high expensive affinity cards with the low to the ground 1-drops, but if you turbo out an affinity card, it's just as aggressive as anything else, so it's really good. We are playing the full 12 artifact lands that we can play. Yes, we are going to totally get demolished by Dust to Dust and Gorilla Shaman, and then we have 1 swamp, 3 mountains for our other lands. Sideboard, we have 4 Gorilla Shamans and Smash to Smithereens because we would like to take advantage of our opponent's artifacts before they do that to us. We have 4 Pyroblast effects because I am a little bit worried about blue matchups. They're scary. And we have Pyroblasts in order to deal with them. We have 3 Cart Clan Shamans. We are more of an aggro deck, so unlike Grixis Affinity, we're not happy to play Cart Clan Shaman in the main deck, but they're still really necessary for some decks, especially Broodscale Combo. I didn't have these in the deck for my first run of the deck, and I went 4-1, losing to Broodscale when I very easily could have beaten them if I simply had a Cart Clan Shaman in the sideboard, and I'm not bitter about it. So we've got those for when that comes up. And then we have a couple spell bombs. Again, we're more aggro than Grixis Affinity, so we don't want to run these in the main deck, but we're happy to run them in the sideboard if we go against Terror or Dredge or anything like that. The deck plays surprisingly differently than Grixis Affinity. It looks pretty similar to it, but it plays pretty cool. I honestly think it's more like Kuldotha than Affinity because it's kind of a Kuldotha deck that has a little bit more mid-range potential with the Familiars and the Mirror Enforcers, especially because you can fly, take cards from your opponent's hand, and you can just have a big 4/4 creature. So let's just jump right into the games. All right, here we are, round 1. This hand looks pretty good. Tomb Raider, some artifacts, start with a Tomb Raider. The thing I like about this deck is because about half our cards are from Kuldotha, we can just have a start that makes it look like we're Kuldotha, and then switch into something slightly more mid-range. I think they've also been playing Kuldotha, if I recall. So I think we're just swinging for 2 here, and I can play Blood Fountain and Frogmite. Not the most aggressive start since all of our artifacts, since most of these aren't creatures, but they're going to Lightning Bolt. That's fine. So I'm just going to play the Swamp, Blood Fountain, play a 1-mana Frogmite, and pass. I could have synthed and then play a free Frogmite, but then I couldn't have cast whatever I got off the synth. They have an Implement in the Mountain into a Kuldotha. Okay, so we're going to have to take it a little slower. Let's play a synth of our own. Not that they played one, but we'll play a synth. Got a Tomb Raider. I'm going to swing with the Tomb Raider and leave back a Frogmite. If they don't have a Bushwhacker, it makes it so they have to kill this or can't really get in. If they do have a Bushwhacker, we'll trade for 1 and take 6, which is not great, but we don't really want to. Leave both our guys back. They have a Blast Runner, okay, and they do have a Galvanic. Gonna swing. We'll take 3. Do I want to Blood Fountain away and Ichor Wellspring? I don't think so. Got a Refurbished Familiar, that's not bad. Might want to leave up Lightning Bolt to deal with this Blast Runner. I think we'll just play the Wellspring. Another Lightning Bolt, that's not bad. So do I want to swing? If so, they can get us back for a bunch. They are definitely a little more aggro than we are, but they're one less than us. We have 6 damage in hand, so they're a virtual 10. We can put them to 8. We play this, they have to have a sack, but if they have a bolt for this, I think we'll hold back, actually. Play the Familiar, make them pitch a mountain, and we'll pass. I was really close to swinging there, but I just think this is probably for the best. They crack Synth for Kuldotha, and they do have a mountain to play it off of their Great Furnace. So they're going to swing with the Blast Runner. Now they're going to swing with everything. Well, we get to eat one of these guys, and we're probably just Lightning Bolting this Samurai, so unfortunately, I think we're going to block here with the Familiar. Not great, but we have this Blood Fountain to get them back if we get another land. We do get a land, so I think we just play that and pass with our bolts up. Now we're really hoping for no Bushwhacker. And they have it. We're going to block, pick off 2 of these guys. Going to take 8, so we're still dead to a Goblin Grenade. And they have it. Okay. We do get 3 Kark Clan Shamans, a couple Gorilla Shamans, in place of our Blood Fountains are slow, our Ichor Wellsprings are slow, and honestly even our Mirror Enforcers can be a little slow. I think just run it like that. We don't have any life gain in the sideboard, which could be an issue, but we do have the 3 Sweepers, plus we can just blow up their artifacts, ideally. Start on the play. This hand looks decent. We have our Shaman, a bunch of creatures this time. We're going to keep. Start with the bridge and pass. Next turn, we get to go Epicure. We have a Galv Blast. Since the mountain isn't an artifact, we can't really drop our Frogmite and our Familiar, which is a little annoying. But we can just take it a little slow, leave up Galv Blast here. And then next turn, we can Synth Refurbished Frogmite, probably. They're going to swing. Actually, I don't mind just taking 1. Since we have the Shaman, if they were going to deal 3, I would pick it off. But if it's just 1, I'd prefer to get the value. They have a Cast into the Fire. Well, that's going to change things. I guess we are going to Galvanic this now, since we don't really know what our next turn looks like. A bridge is great, so I could Synth. That's only 2, 3 artifacts. So I think, again, we'll just take it slow. Since we found our bridge, hope they don't have another Cast into the Fire. If they do, we might have to crack the Blood Token just to, pitch something to try to draw. Then we lose our last artifact for our Kark Clan Shaman, so that might not be what we do either. Epicure for the opponent. They do have the other Cast into the Fire, so I could Blood. Yeah, we're going to play the Synth if we don't hit a land, so I will do it for this Frogmite, I suppose. Fanatical Offering, Epicure. Let's play a Synth, try to hit a land. Got the Vault of Whispers. That's 2 artifacts, so I can't play this Familiar. Hopefully they don't have a Gorilla Shaman. Blood away a Mountain. Play a Furnace. They're going to swing, and we don't really care about this Epicure. If it was an artifact, we'd probably keep it, but it is a creature to sack to this Fanatical Offering, but that's okay. They have another Cast into the Fire. Well, they've gotten all their sideboard, which is hurting us a lot, but luckily they don't really have any pressure. So we're going to play an Epicure and pass, and they don't have anything. Could have another Cast into the Fire that they're waiting to use. Familiar. I think we're going to ditch this Fanatical Offering, try to find a land. Nope. That's a Familiar. Made worse by discarding that Blood. But I guess any artifact, any black source that we get is going to be an artifact. They have a Blast Runner. There's a Gorilla Shaman of our own. Let's just play that. It's probably going to get Lightning Bolted, but if it doesn't, we can start picking off lands, which could be kind of cool. And if it does, it's a Lightning Rod. We take 3 less damage. They're going to swing, hoping they can elicit the double block. We will decline. Then they're going to bolt, and we'll take it and pass. There's another mountain. As soon as we get a black source, we are unlocked. So we'll just swing here. I guess they could be sandbagging a Bushwhacker, and if they get a Kuldotha, we'd want this guy back. For the same reason, maybe we want to play this guy, but I think this isn't one we really want to run out and get Lightning Bolted. I will Lightning Bolt this guy. It's the only pressure they have, so I'm happy to see them stall out. Get a Tomb Raider. Imagine if we finish this game with no black mana. We lose the Tomb Raider to a Lightning Bolt. Attack with the Epicure and pass. They have a Gorilla Shaman. They are going to use it on the Synth. A little annoying. Hopefully we get a Bolt here. Nope. Deadly Dispute. Well, we didn't want that anyway. Our 4th copy of Refurbished Familiar. Well, if we get a bridge, although we've already lost 2 of them, bridge would be good. Vault of Whispers would allow us to play 1, but it would die to the Gorilla Shaman, so that would be bad. They play an Epicure, pitch a Mountain, play a Synthesizer into another Epicure, and they're going to pass. We draw a Frogmite, which costs a 4 full mana. A full 4 mana. I could play Cart Clan, but I can't even sack anything to it. So yeah, this... I mean, them drawing all their sideboard cards was good for us for a little bit, but we've lost 4 artifacts, 3 of which have been lands, to their sideboard. Crack the Synth for a Mountain, and they're going to pitch a Mountain with the Blood token. They're getting flooded, which is pretty nice for us. Although there's the Bushwhacker now. So we basically have to find an artifact we can play for the Krark clan, or we're dead here. Possible I should have just chunked the Samurai for that reason, but we did not. We have a Tomb Raider, and we're going to play a Krark clan as a blocker, but we don't have any artifacts left, so this is pretty brutal. They have yet another Bushwhacker. Well, I think this match was totally doable, but unfortunately they drew all their sideboard hate, and so we died. That's just kind of how it's going to go, unfortunately. All right, here we are on the play in round 2. We have a reasonable hand, 2 Mirror Enforcers, but 2 artifact lands, Wellspring, Tomb Raider, Galvanic Blast. We're going to keep it. We definitely need another artifact land, maybe a Blood Fountain or a Synthesizer. Refurbished Familiar would be great. And, you know, our artifacts. Opponent on the Mold of 5. On the Mold of 4, I'm guessing like Broodscale Combo, maybe Walls, or just really bad luck. This deck's been pretty sweet, though. It is, yes, just Grixis minus the blue, and blue adds a lot. But I've found that the more better cards we get in general in Pauper, the less we kind of need that blue. So in Grixis Affinity, the blue adds Thoughtcasts, which have for a long time been the best card draw in the deck. I still think they're pretty good, but with Deadly Disputes and Reckoner's Bargains now, not to mention Acre Wellspring, it's not fully necessary to get the Thoughtcasts. So we get rid of those. We do lose the ability to play any sort of Counterspell or Metallic Rebuke, which not every Grixis deck plays right now anyway, but I do think I like 1 Metallic Rebuke. It offers a little bit of interaction on the stack, which is just always nice to have, especially when your opponent is siding in Dust to Dusts and things like that. The big one that we lose is Kenku Artificer. Not being able to turn one of our lands into an indestructible creature is a big blow for sure. But we gain a lot of speed in this one by not having to deal with that blue. So I like the Tomb Raiders. Any deck I can put Tomb Raider in, I think is great. Voldaren Epicure, I think it's just a really good card. Side note real quick, I don't think I'm playing Ichor Wellspring or a Tomb Raider here, as much as I want to get it down. Looks like Ponza. They did mulligan to 5 or 4, but I really don't want to play this Vault of Whispers and have it get blown up right away. So I'm just going to Galv Blast this Arbor Elf, hope that their mulligan is significantly worse by doing that. So anyway, we gain a lot of speed versus the Grixis version. So I'm toying with the idea. I don't want to make this deck too close to Kuldotha, although it already has a lot of cards from that. But it's possible that a Kuldotha Rebirth Bushwhacker package would be good in here, because if you can drop on turn 3 a Refurbished Familiar and then a Frogmite, maybe a Kuldotha Rebirth into a Bushwhacker, if you had, I guess, 4 mana, then that would be really sweet, right? So I'm thinking about trying something like that, but I kind of like the deck as is. Anyway, our opponent has 4 mana, despite the fact that they mulliganed. But luckily, it doesn't look like they have anything to play with that mana. We are unfortunately getting a lot of our black mana. We have 3 artifacts at the moment. I could make that 4 with the Epicure. That doesn't allow us to play this Mirror Enforcer, though. Not yet, because we would only have 2 mana and it would cost 3. So I might just play a Tomb Raider and try to go as quickly as possible. This is really clunky. If we just had another red, I mean, we also have this Galv Blast, so we prefer both of these to be red. And we do play a lot more red lands than black lands for this reason, but that's okay. They do have something here. Looks like an Avenging Hunter. While that's a good card for them, that kind of is going to seal the deal once we Galvanic Blast it and then take the initiative from them. Not to mention this finds our second red, so I appreciate that our opponent heard our complaints of not having enough red mana, and were happy enough to help us with our little problem there. So we're going to play the Epicure since it doesn't have haste. Still only 4 artifacts, so this Mirror Enforcer would cost 3, so we can't cast it. A little awkward, but our opponent's also at 9 and have given us the initiative, so I think we're going to be okay here. My cat is screaming at me for no good goddamn reason. We're going to forge onto our Epicure here. If they have any removal, they'll pick off the weakest creature. Great Furnace is a good pickup because that allows us to play a Mirror Enforcer for 2, yes, which allows us to play the next one for 1. And we also have a Tomb Raider. So let's just show them everything that we got, just to kind of rub it in. Hit for 7, down to 2, and then, oh wait, no, hit for 9, because this guy's a 3/3. Boom. Yeah, show them the Mirror Enforcers to assert dominance. That's the key thing here. So against Ponza, I didn't put any raises in the sideboards, but I do have Krark Clan Shamans, which are pretty dang good against Ponza. So what is bad against Ponza? Nothing specifically in our deck is that bad against Ponza, I don't think, because we can definitely go late game and the Blood Fountains can be really key. Card draw is good and everything. We like the big creatures, although a Mirror Enforcer gets blocked by a lot of their stuff pretty easily, but it still gets past, or at least trades with, an Avenging Hunter and a Boarding Party. So it's not terrible. In this situation, I would probably cut a Frogmite and Wellspring, although Wellspring does go well with the Shaman, and maybe just an Epicure. I don't know. We could cut a Tomb Raider. They do get stonewalled pretty easily, but man, I like Tomb Raider a lot. It just attacks really well. If they play a creature and we're able to bolt it, and then play another Tomb Raider and then attack, then their creatures aren't that big of a deal. And we can just kind of get through and crush them. So we're going to try it like that, see how we do. Of course, our opponent may not mold a 4 this time. You know, they may be rude and just kind of try to play with 7 cards or whatever, in which case, you know, maybe we'll have a real game on our hands. All right, here we have a 1-lander with not really a lot to play. And yeah, this seems bad. So we're going to get rid of that. 2-lander, one of which is indestructible, which is good against Ponza. Krark Clan Shaman's good. Frogmite might be able to play that early. Yeah, I think this one's a keep for sure. I think we'll pitch the Epicure here. I don't think it does very much. Or maybe the Frogmite's worse. Frogmite's just a 2/2. Frogmite is also a creature we could sack to Krark Clan, but Voldar and Epicure gives us that blood to sack to Krark Clan. Frogmite's also a free 2/2 on turn 2 because of our Blood Fountain. So yeah, we'll keep it. Opponent on 7 cards have the Arbor Elf. We don't have the Lightning Bolt to kill it, unfortunately. Do have an indestructible land, so that's a little bit good for us. Tap and untap, so no Utopia Sprawl or anything like that, or no second land. I guess either is a possibility. Malevolent Rumble, looking for a land, but can they resist taking a Writhing Chrysalis? I've never seen anyone do it. Rumble into Chrysalis is the thing to do. Oh, they took a Repurposer. Oh, they do have the land. Okay, fair enough. Do have the Forest. They took a Repurposer. A Drossforge Bridge. That makes me want to play a Drossforge Bridge. We don't really want our lands to get destroyed in case they are playing Ponza. It's possible with the Repurposer they're actually just playing mid-range. We've seen a good amount of that recently, as in taking out the land destruction spells for Repurposers and Llanowar Visionaries, I think. We'll play a Frogmite here and pass. But always got to be wary of the land destruction until it's proven that it's not there. They are going to play the Repurposer. Not something I'm that scared of, so I don't mind seeing it. I do have a Krark Clan Shaman to wipe the board when needed. We're at 5/6 artifacts, so I'm just going to play this Mirror Enforcer for 1 and leave up a Deadly Dispute. That is going to sack the Vault of Whispers. If they do have a land destruction spell, it's going to sack one of our creatures if they have a removal spell, or what have you. They do have a Deglammer for our bridge, so that's unfortunate that we're going to be losing one of those, but we will just Deadly Dispute it. We draw a Lightning Bolt and a Great Furnace, not bad. We have our land replacement and some removal. Arbor Elf untaps a land, and with 3/4 mana, they play Annihila's Disciple. That's fine. Life Gain is really good against a Kuldotha deck because it's all about the aggro, and this is kind of an aggro deck, but again, I like that it has some more mid-range qualities so that I really don't care if they play Annihila's Disciple. We'll be able to just keep fighting them. Play a Great Furnace, and I think we're just going to swing with this Enforcer, get in for 4. It does allow them to attack us back, but if they go for a cheeky double block, then we can just Lightning Bolt one of them and eat both. They thought about it and then thought better of it, so that's fine. We will deal 4 to them and just pass. Again, hold up this Deadly Dispute for any removal they may have. They have a Utopia Sprawl. That opens up red, which could be more removal, especially Cast into the Fire, or just let them play a Writhing Chrysalis. They do have the Chrysalis, and probably going to swing with their 3/3s. No, they're just going to pass. Okay, playing defense. I think that's interesting. I'm going to Deadly Dispute this blood token, get another Lightning Bolt, and Great Furnace. Not quite what we want. We're just going to take our turn. So I could go for a Krark Clan Shaman here, wipe the board, and Blood Fountain back our artifact creatures. Can't really play them again until next turn. It seemed like they almost were going to play a 5-drop, which would most likely be Avenging Hunter, so I'm kind of anticipating that coming down. Makes me want to... yeah, I think I want to play this Cart Clan. Just have it up and ready for if they go for a blitz here. Can't really swing in, though. They do have a Scred for the Shaman. I thought these decks stopped playing removal. So I have to sack 5 artifacts to be able to kill the Chrysalis, or I could just do 3 and then Lightning Bolt it. If I do 3, I could keep my Mirror Enforcer. So that's kind of good. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's hold control here. Unless I want to sack my lands, I do have to sack my treasures, which means I can't actually Blood Fountain back this turn, which is annoying, but that's okay. Sack a Frogmite, sack a treasure, sack another treasure, pass. I think this is the ideal way to do it. So we keep our Mirror Enforcer and wipe their board. They're going to sack their spawn to grow the Chrysalis, and then boom, kill everything. Their Repurposer makes another spawn, but that's not going to grow the Chrysalis out of range of the Lightning Bolt, so we'll just let it happen. They have a Rumble. That one would grow it out of range, so we're going to Lightning Bolt in response. Dies, and we don't have anything else to play. They turn up a Avenging Hunter or an Arboreal for a Wild Growth, so probably the Hunter. That is going to be their pick, and they can play it here. No, they play a Chrysalis. That seems better for them, but worse for us, so I wish they hadn't. Oh, I guess they could play both. Yeah, grow the Chrysalis to be enormous, and then play the Hunter. Okay, stacking 4 spawn for that initiative, and then passing to us. So we got a Deadly Dispute. We can crack the Blood Fountain for our Frogmite and our Cart Clan. We can't really get through now. I guess we attack with the Mirror Enforcer. They block here. I bolt it. And then we can get back Frogmite and Enforcer. Can't quite play the Enforcer this turn, but it's a start. I guess the Hunter gets to be bigger now. This next turn, it'll be a 7/6. That's kind of what you got to do. Oh, they're also letting us kill the Hunter if we want, which I could do. But then I don't think I have any way to deal with this Chrysalis, which is going to be just massive. So we're going to do the Chrysalis. Throw a bolt out for my homies. Boom. Play the Great Furnace. And I could crack right now, so I could play a Frogmite. Do I want to play a Frogmite? It's a 2/2. That doesn't do much. I guess having a 2/2 holds back their Hunter, because they can't attack if they want to give us the initiative. Although if we don't get the Cart Clan, I'm not sure how we're killing this. So maybe I have to get Cart Clan and Frogmite. It's pretty awkward. I think that might be the right call, though. Guess we'll give it a try. Play the Frogmite and pass. They might also be fine with us getting the initiative once and just still hitting us for 7, but that would probably be a mistake for them, because then we can play the Cart Clan Shaman, sack 6 artifacts, and blow up their Hunter, assuming they don't have a creature here. And they don't. They have a Utopia Sprawl. So I would love for them to just go on the offensive here. I don't think we're going to see that, though. They're going to pass. We got a Refurbished Familiar. That's not bad. That draws us a card, and it flies over this Hunter. So let's start with that. Tomb Raider. That means we can Tomb Raider and Frogmite to take the initiative now. Whatever they block, I can sack with a Deadly Dispute. And then, yeah, we can Cart Clan Shaman if we really need for 6. Sacking a bunch of our lands. Ideally, then, they won't block the Frogmite, but the Goblin Tomb Raider here. Well, that didn't work. We will sack the Frogmite to a Deadly Dispute. Ooh, if we'd sacked something else, we could have Galvanic Blasted the Hunter. That would have been so good. Although, Galvanic Blast means we don't actually have to sack 6 permanents, but only 2 to this Cart Clan Shaman, so that's pretty good. Let's search up a mountain, but play a Great Furnace, play the Shaman, and pass. Now that we hold the initiative, we're in a good spot. They're going to swing. And let's see. I could just trade the Familiar and the Galvanic Blast for this guy. But then if they have like another Chrysalis, we're kind of screwed. But otherwise, I'm Galvanic Blast and trading Cart Clan, 2 artifacts, and Tomb Raider, but we're left with a Familiar. I think that's a little better, unfortunately. So we're going to do that. Galvanic Blast. Hold control. Don't get screwed over by this. We're going to sack 1, sack 2 artifacts, and hope they whiffed on their draw. Hey, they did. All right. I kind of want to Forge and go aggro, but we might need to well here so that we actually can draw something, because if we just whiff on our draw, and then they get like a boarding party, we're screwed. So we're going to scry here in order to maintain the initiative. And not the best cards, honestly. I would have preferred Card Draw or Mirror Enforcer. Blood Fountain would be amazing. Tomb Raider's fine. Lightning Bolt's fine. I don't think I want both of these. I need to draw something else, right? Lightning Bolt helps us in case they get a boarding party. That's about it. Guess I'll put away the Tomb Raider and keep the Lightning Bolt. I don't know, not great. Boarding party is pretty much their only haste, so I'm going to swing, seeing as I have an answer for their haste. So hopefully that's the right call. They found a Malevolent Rumble. Well, that's going to find something. Looks like a Nylea's Disciple to gain them some life. Dies to a Lightning Bolt though, so that's not bad. Okay, we get to stash here. What gets us an artifact. Galvanic Blast is not a bad draw. We're going to bolt this guy now just in case there's any weird tricks. Swing for 2 and pass. Sandbag a mountain in case we draw an Epicure or a Blood Fountain, so we have something to discard to our blood. And see what they draw. Looks to be nothing. They're attacking with an Eldrazi Spawn. Well, we'll see if it can deal any damage. Looks like it cannot, so no worries. Let's make a 4-1. It's going to speed up the clock a little bit. And another Galvanic Blast. I mean, that means we have 2 and then 6, plus whatever Throne gives us. So almost lethal next turn. Plus double removal is nice. They do have a Breath Weapon. Fair enough. I accept. Are you sure that wasn't a dragon skeleton? Are we sure about that? They do have a Repurposer. Too little, too late, I believe. And we will go to the Throne of the Dead 3. Big flying zombie rat would be pretty sick. Don't get it though, but we do get a Krark Clan Shaman with 3 counters. That doesn't die to itself. It's either that or just a 5/5 or a 4/4 with a blood. I mean, 4/4 draw a card's not bad, honestly. But I think we're going to go for the Krark Clan. That seems hot. Deadly Dispute's not bad. Let's deadly this treasure. Draw a couple cards. Voldaren. Now we're getting somewhere. All right. Let's play an Ichor Wellspring. Another Epicure. So do I want to play these out? Because if I do, they're just going to die to this Krark Clan if I need to use it. But they're not going to swing with this turn, so I think we're fine. I have 1 treasure up for our Galvanic Blasts, so I'm just going to play the Epicures out. Leave up 1 mana and keep the mountain to discard next turn with the blood tokens. I think this will be okay. They have to find, I guess a Skred would just kill the Krark Clan Shaman, but they need a Skred as well as follow-ups to the Skred. We're also putting them down to 14, so we need only 6 more damage to get them there. They don't have anything. Perfect. Back into the Undercity. Let us fetch another card that we can get rid of with a blood token. First, let's just swing. If they take this, we can just kill them right now. Okay, they took this. So let's just kill them right now. Maybe they're playing a Weather the Storm and this is really bad, but we're about to find out. They were in fact not playing a Weather the Storm. All right, on the play here, we have 1 land, which is rough. We do have an Epicure and a Synth and a Galvanic, so 3 spells to cast. If this was a bridge, I'd probably keep it with the Blood Fountain, but with just 1 and on the play, I don't think we're going to do it. So let's mulligan. Less exciting, to be honest, but keepable. So I might get rid of a land, though, because we have Wellspring Dispute to probably hit our next land. I don't really want to get rid of any of the other stuff. We got a lot of juice here. So I think we'll play that and pass. We are against red. More Kuldotha. Okay. I like the Lackey decently in Kuldotha, but I don't see almost anyone else play it. So cool to see, I guess. I don't know. Play our Vault of Whispers, and we could play Familiar, but it doesn't actually block this. It could block a Tomb Raider if they play that, but it's less mana efficient. If we play Wellspring here, then next turn I can play Familiar and Deadly Dispute. So I think we're just going to do that and eat whatever damage they have. Another Familiar is pretty hot. Opponent playing mono red, not the most important deck to have all of your cards in, but still losing 2 cards. That could be 2 Lightning Bolts, and that's 6 damage. Or even just a key 3rd land or something like that can be pretty good too. So they're going to swing for just the 1. I don't mind this pace. And if Voldaren Epicure, do have another mountain into the Kuldotha. Okay, that's pretty annoying. Blood Fountain's a good draw, though. That lets us play Enforcer, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 artifacts. So we're not holding up the Deadly Dispute. We're just playing a Familiar, another Familiar, Blood Fountain, and a Mirror Enforcer. Hopefully, this will be enough to stave off their attacks. Of course, the Familiars are not great. They do just trade with goblins, which sucks, but it's still kind of a 2-for-1, seeing as they're taking cards here. And if they don't have like a Bushwhacker, then they're not going to be as incentivized to even go for it, seeing as they're losing 1 to the Enforcer and possibly trading off a couple of other guys. So we got an Implement and a Voldaren Epicure out of that. Not the best cards, but also solid cards still. Play the Blood Fountain and then cast our Mirror Enforcer. Pass the turn. So that's pretty good. And next turn we get to Deadly Dispute our Wellspring, draw 3 more cards. So we're in a good spot. Synthesizer off the top, or out of hand, probably. Play a mountain. They're going to Bushwhacker. Let's see. They pump faked with the Lackey, which kind of leads me to believe that they have a Lightning Bolt. Because if I block with the Enforcer, they first strike and then Lightning Bolt it. Not that that's a huge tell, they're mono red, but it's something anyway. Galvanic Blast is not a bad draw. And luckily we got away with no damage there. So we now have more cards, better creatures, and only 3 less life than them. So we're in a great spot. Deadly Dispute draws us some pretty hot cards. We have a treasure here, so I could go for a synth. We can play a land, or we could play anything but our 2-drops. We have a lot of 2-drops, though, so I think I'm just going to save the synth, leave up our Galvanic and Lightning Bolt, play a Frogmite. And since I now have 2 favorable blockers against them, and these birds don't do that much, I'm going to just start swinging with them. We also have 7 damage in hand, so we only need to hit them with these birds 3 times. 3 and a teeny bit more. If we draw another bolt, it'll only need to be 3 full times to take them out. They do have a Bushwhacker here. Okay, so that's going to be some damage. 8 damage coming through at the moment because we're going to block 2 of them that we can. We might also just Lightning Bolt one of them, taking 6. That puts us to 11. I'm a little bit more comfortable with that. So I think we're going to do that. I'm not going to block the Lackey in case they do have a Lightning Bolt. I am instead going to bolt it since they don't have mana up to sack it. Always block goblins rather than vampires because there is no vampire grenade in the format. We're going to Lightning Bolt this Lackey and take 6 here. It's also possible that I could have just taken all of that. We couldn't take all of it because we go to 5 and Goblin Grenade would kill us. But if we blocked just 1 and found another removal spell or something, we could almost... We were very close to killing them on the crackback here. As is, we could deal 8, but we're 4 damage off, so we need another Galvanic for that. I think I'm just going to play the Synth to start off, see if we find a haste creature or something. Find a bridge, that's fine. Play that, and still kind of just want to swing for 8. If they get a Bushwhacker off the top, that's another 8 damage. Yeah, I have a blast for 1, but if they have the grenade, I will lose. So I think we're just going to swing with these 2 familiars. We're in a really good spot, so no need to lose to a card that most of the decks play. At least 1 grenade, not a ton usually. And yeah, probably pitch this Vault of Whispers to the blood token, but we can wait on that. I guess if we had drawn a Mirror Enforcer, if we'd drawn a creature like a Mirror Enforcer, Bird, or Frogmite, we would have played it there. They're going to swing with all. They only get in for 2 here, so if I block a Goblin, I go to 9. If they have Goblin Grenade and Fire Blast, we lose. Let's blood token away this first. Another Galvanic Blast, which means this is 8 damage and we only need 1 blast to kill them. So I think in case they have Fire Blast and Goblin Grenade, I'm just gonna pick off 2 of their guys here. In fact, if they have Goblin Grenade at all, I'm getting rid of both of their goblins, so they won't be able to use it. We'll be in a much better spot. But I'm just a little weary of the 9 damage out of nowhere, because that's really the main reason you'd make this attack here. They do have a Kuldotha Rebirth. Maybe it's just that they were making more 1/1s, but that's kind of a reason to wait. I don't know. Get a mountain off the top, nothing too bad, and 1 card in hand. So we have a Tomb Raider, so we could swing with all. If we do and they don't block, we got them. If they block here, I can just then play the Tomb Raider. Yeah, I think we're going to swing with everything. Go for the play to see if we can win, but if not, we don't have a bad spot. We can play Tomb Raider and hold up Galv. They're going to chump. Oh, I guess I could crack Synth to use up my mana a little more efficiently. Let's do that. Still gives me a 2/2. More mana efficient. Maybe I get a cool 1-drop off the top. Or a mountain. That's not bad either. That lets me play 2 blockers. Alright, got their game 1. So we get to bring in the Krark Clans and the Gorilla Shamans again. Hopefully it's going to do a little better here, and hopefully we don't get cast into the fire into oblivion. So take out some of our slow cards, a Blood Fountain, an Ichor Wellspring, a Fanatical, maybe a Frogmite and a Mirror Enforcer. I don't know, I kind of just like taking out one of a lot of the cards that are a little slower. I still like Familiars because it takes a card and it trades with a 2/2 or even a 1/1. I like the removal. I like the creatures, the low cheap creatures that we can reliably play, because even a Frogmite can be pretty awkward if we draw like a Mountain Swamp. Can't play it till turn 2 or 3. This hand looks bad in general, made even worse by the fact that they could just have a Gorilla Shaman blow up our only land. So we're going to mulligan this one. This hand looks just the same. If this was a Mountain or a Great Furnace, maybe, seeing as these are all red 1-drops, but still just dies to a Gorilla Shaman and is no good. Can't play anything. This one is acceptable. We are going to keep. Let's see, turn 2, Frogmite or Tomb Raider. I guess we're getting rid of a Great Furnace. Greedy if they do have the Gorilla Shaman, but And then Frogmite's 2 mana. And we kind of want a removal in case they have a fast start. So I guess we'll do that. Mountain into Blast Runner. We got a bridge. Let's play it. and watch it get cast into the fires of Mount Doom as swiftly as Gollum and the One Ring did. Never mind, they have a synth into a Kuldotha Rebirth. Pretty good if they have a mountain, and they do. Pretty good. Let's find our Kark Clan Shaman, please. ASAP, even. So we're going to play a Tomb Raider and probably hold up a Bolt here. Blood Fountains, whatever. We are going to take the risk they have a Gorilla Shaman, play the Tomb Raider, so that I can ideally block a non-bushwhackered Goblin token, and then Lightning Bolt this guy and only take, 2. That'd be primo. Then again, they have a Galv Blast, so that kind of throws that all into the garbage. No Bushwhacker. We are going to Lightning Bolt this Blast Runner and take 3, though. We even have the Blood Fountain. Kark Clan would be perfect because we can just sack a blood to it to create more blood when all of these goblins explode in little bombs. Dross Forge Bridge, and I can play Blood Fountain. I can just hold up double bolt. I guess we'll probably just bolt one of these little Munchkin Oompa Loompas. We really need to. Why are they Munchkin Oompa Loompas? I don't know. They're small guys. Okay, don't ask, please. For the love of God. I think we're taking 3 here. We're taking 3. Tomb Raider. Slow Tomb Raider. I think we're blooding away this Lightning Bolt. Like, a bolt on one of these guys doesn't save us. We need to find a creature. Kark Clan would be great. We need to find something. Refurbished at least trades and takes a card. Deadly Dispute is some card draw. So let's play the Familiar. Make them pitch a card. And it's a mountain. And then we'll pass the turn. They have a Bushwhacker. Great. So I'm going to block, and I could Deadly Dispute something. I don't want to do here because I want it to trade. So I could Deadly Dispute this Blood Fountain. As much as I want this Blood Fountain to bring these guys back, I don't think I'm going to have time for that. So yes, I'm going to Deadly Dispute the Blood Fountain. Find the 2 worst cards in my deck at the moment, and then I'm going to bolt this guy so we don't die to a Lightning Bolt, and we just die to a Goblin Grenade. Go to 5. That's a Wellspring. Let's play it and hope it draws us a KCS. I know how to spell. It didn't. It didn't draw us a KCS. It drew us a DFB, which is far less good letters, if I can say so. I think they're so good because all the letters are in the first 6 of the alphabet. All right, we're down to 2. I think we can make it. I think we're going to have a shot. If we just draw something really good, I think we can still win this one. All right, let's draw. Oh, Galv Blast, so close. Almost got there. All right, on to the next one. Do we feel that we made the right swap outs? Yeah, I don't think I have any differences. We just need to draw better. We only have 16 lands in the deck. I cannot go lower. This 16 lands is fewer lands than I play in Kuldotha. I cannot play fewer lands. This hand looks pretty good. Yeah, Dross Forge into turn 2. I mean, turn 2 isn't amazing. It's only 1 creature, but then turn 3, we get down another Familiar, and then this guy for 2. Yeah, so if we go Familiar on turn 2, and then Familiar, and then Mirror Enforcer, and then Tomb Raider as the perfect turn 4 play. Tomb Raider is, I always say this, best on turn 4. You don't really want to play it before turn 4 because it's just he's a bit of a night owl. He doesn't really like to get woken up in the early morning of the game, that being turns 1 to 3. So he best performs when you get him in his element, which is the night sky. They have a freaking mountain, like a nerd, and see, look at this. Sleepy Tomb Raider over here. Can't even manage to attack. Honestly, embarrassing. We're going to play a Familiar. Make them pitch a card. They didn't listen to me. They're going to discard a Lightning Bolt, which seems like a mistake because Lightning Bolt can kill Familiar. I'm not sure if they're aware, but it is their funeral. Not the Familiars, though. They're going to play a Synth into a Mountain. Always lucky. Never didn't have it. Mountain is going to play a 1-drop, I would assume. Maybe even a Lightning Bolt. Oh my gosh, they have 2? That's not fair. All right, so no Mirror Enforcer, unless... That's a really good draw. That's really good draw. We're just going to take every single card of theirs. Every single one. So we're still not going to be able to play... We're not going to be able to... We are not going to be able to play the Mirror Enforcer this turn, as it's going to cost 5 mana, and we're going to be left with only a single mana. However, we also just get to play 2 2/1 flyers for 1 mana that takes a card out of their hand, and we get to play a Tomb Raider. This is a common, by the way. Who knew? Then we're going to attack for 2. I know I said turn 4, but I thought I was getting a Mirror Enforcer. So look, this Tomb Raider's still up and at him on turn 3. He's a bit of an early riser. Early riser for the Night Owls. Turn 3. Okay, it makes perfect sense. They only have 3 cards in hand and only 1 creature on board. Easy. We're both at 18, so we're just going to take this and race them. because I think we're winning that race. Q, Kuldotha, Bushwhacker, I don't know, Simian Spirit Guides to get the mana. Hey, there's the first one. That's a Gorilla Shaman. That's going to be annoying if they have another mountain. Yeah, they pitched the mountain that they had. Loser. Can I get a loser in chat? All right, I'm going to bolt that guy right now so that we don't lose all of our precious Vaults of Whispers. Attack for 6, and then play a Stone Walling Mirror Enforcer. Boom. No way they can get through this unless a bunch of different cards that could absolutely get through this. But we're hitting for 6. They're on a 2-turn clock here. So yeah, if they smash to smithereens this and then attack for 4, that's pretty good for them, admittedly. Don't do that. Don't do that. But do something. They're going to swing. I could block, but then they bolt it, and we lose the guy. And if we don't block, we can attack back for 10 and galvanic them. The chances of us dying here are very low, I think. They would need Goblin Grenade, Fire Blast. And if by taking 1 extra damage here, they're forced to double Lightning Bolt our Mirror Enforcer, then we're saving a lot of damage. Or maybe they just kill off a couple familiars. That makes sense too. But I think I like taking the damage here. They do have a Chain Lightning for a bird. Cannot pay for it. If only I had the double Simian Spirit Guide. Ooh, Gorilla Shaman doesn't do anything here. But if they don't have another bolt, this is 8 damage coming at them. Ooh, 8 plus 4, baby. 12. That's how much life you were at. Oh, we won the match. Why did I think that was game 2? All right. We have not an amazing hand here. No black, but we do have a turn 1 Tomb Raider into a turn 2, probably Wellspring, into a turn 3 Epicure and Frogmite. It's good enough. We're going to keep it. We're on the draw. They have a Dark Moss Bridge. Amazing. We get to play against Broodscale Combo, one of the most innovative and interesting decks in the format right now. It's crazy that you can assemble 2 cards and win the game. They have a Forest, and they're going to Ichor Wellspring, taking a page out of our book preemptively. Vault of Whispers is a good draw. Oh, actually, we can Vault, Blood Fountain, Epicure, and Frogmite here to dump creatures, which is going to be better because we want to go as fast as possible against this opponent. We do also want to get our card draw down, to be fair, because we need to draw into our removal so that we can kill opponents' Brood Scales of the Basking variety. Rubble Belt Maverick is going to surveil not once, but twice as many cards as a single one. Nailed it. Nightblade and Landscape. Play a Swamp and pass. Here we have, I guess, a Wellspring. Try to draw that Lightning Bolt we're looking for, or Galvanic. We don't find it. In fact, we find a Fanatical Offering. That's more card draw, though. Play a Mountain to at least threaten the removal spell. Attack for 5. Probably trading this Epicure. Yep. Down to 11. And pass. Can't do anything if they have the combo here, unfortunately. We're just going to have to hope that they don't have it. Fanatical Offering, Wellspring. Draws them a bunch of cards. If they don't have it even just one more turn, we can draw 3 to 5 more cards to hopefully get a removal spell. They have a Rumble. Okay. Rumble finds none of the key pieces. They can get a Sylvac Lifestaff for life, or they can get a Marauder to pick off one of our creatures. But if all they do is play Marauder here, it's not the end of the world, although it does slow our clock. They take the Lifestaff. They have an Unearth for the Marauder. Okay, so they're going to get that effect anyway. We're going to lose the Tomb Raider since it's not an artifact. They are going to play Lifestaff and pass. So we need to find cards as soon as possible, so I'm just going to Blood Fountain away this land, draw another worse one because it enters tap. Draw a Synth, not really what we want, because if we get a Lightning Bolt, then it's not going to be at the right time. So let's just Deadly Dispute this Wellspring. We do draw a Lightning Bolt, just one, not to be picky, but one might not cut it if they have any protection spells. So I could play a Mountain, and if they go for it, I could Lightning Bolt. If they have protection, Blood Fountain, have the chance to hit another Lightning Bolt. And if I don't hit it, then I lose because they can gain infinite life. Yeah, that's what we got to go for, I think. I'd rather they didn't have infinite life, because life is the way we're going to win this game, ideally. Mesmeric Fiend is pretty annoying. It's going to take our 1 Lightning Bolt, and Can't really even do anything about it. Okay. They're going to Deadly Dispute it in response, so I can't imagine they'll have the mana unless they're playing like Dark Writ or something. Don't think they're going to have the mana to win this turn, so I might just Lightning Bolt them. I could Fanatical Offering our Blood token. That draws more, which allows them to maybe take something else, so that seems bad. But I kind of like Lightning Bolting them. Or maybe the Spawn. If I Lightning Bolt the Spawn, because if the Spawn dies with this, it's going to gain 3 anyway. And the Spawn is going to be key in starting their loop. I guess they have multiple ways to give counters, but those cost mana. It's tough. I'm going to go for their face. If they do or don't take the Fanatical Offering, and then we're able to, like, Blood Fountain into maybe a Galvanic and another Lightning Bolt, maybe we can just get the burn win on them here. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Kind of wish we played this bridge, because then we could Blood Fountain back our Epicure and Tomb Raider and play them both. They do take the card draw. Then again, I'm probably just going to Blood Token away this bridge, so it's not a big deal. They're going to play a Rubble Belt Maverick off their treasure. Don't think they've played a land this turn, so not technically out of mana. Going to bin a Woodland Chasm. And they are going to equip the Life Staff with the Eldrazi Spawn. I guess I'll Blood Token away this bridge right now. Get a Vault of Whispers, that's fine. So they have a blocker that can gain them 3, so we really kind of want to find that burn win. Another bridge isn't going to cut it. We could pick up 2 creatures and play them, but then we get in for 3, and they get 3 back, so that's not good. So let's start with a Synth. Frogmite is not quite where we want to be. Play an Epicure. Blood Fountain away. Vault of Whispers. Get another land. Okay. Well, we're not attacking with the Frogmite, because that seems like a bad trade. I'd rather make it next turn when we can maybe kill them in response to the trigger going off. If they have it here, we used up all of our interaction. And by that I mean we had 1 piece. And so kind of dead either way. They're going to adapt to Basking Broodscale. No Sadistically yet. They could just do it now. I guess that makes more sense so that they have the spawn before they go for it. Yeah, sure. I mean, that just makes infinite mana. With the Life Staff can give them infinite life, right? So if they just start doing that, they'll win. All right, we get to bring in our Krark Clan Shamans. That's what they're in the sideboard for, this matchup specifically. I don't think they were playing any... Most of these versions aren't playing enough artifact lands to lose to Gorilla Shamans, which is probably wise. They don't really need a bunch. They do have a lot of other artifacts, like the Life Staff, so I do think I want Smash to Smithereens just in case. So... 5 to bring in. We do want all of our removal spells, so I think we're kind of doing the same thing as before, just like cutting one of each of these like various spells, running it like that. All right, on the play here, what an amazing hand. We're almost going to keep it. Another 1-lander. Krark Clan is good. Voldaren is good. Smash is good. Don't think 1 land's going to do it for us. We'll keep the 2-lander. Get rid of a mountain. And we need interaction, but we also need fast, aggressive clock. So I guess we're getting rid of a lightning bolt. Who knows what the best choice could have been. Swing for 2. Pass the turn. They play a bridge. And we get a familiar. That's a really good draw. That's clutch. We get to play our Epicure, take a card from their hand, and now have 5 damage on turn 2 coming in on next turn. If we get there quickly, we have a shot. This is a good fast start. They're going to pitch a Nightblade. They have the Unearth, so we just kind of gave them a cheap Nightblade. That's pretty annoying, because I guess we have to shoot that. Otherwise, we just can't get in for the damage we want. Hope they don't have a Tamio Safekeeping one time. They didn't. That's a good thing for us. They have a Life Goes On, though. Gain 8. Play a Marauder. That's fine. We lose a 1/1, and then they have another Life Goes On. Okay, well, they're down to 2 cards. We're going to pitch our Great Furnace for Smash to Smithereens. Doesn't do anything right now except for deal them 3, but could be good at some point. We also have a Galvanic Blast. So their Life Goes Ons are pretty annoying, but hopefully the fact that they don't have very many cards will be good for us. They have a Rubble Belt Maverick. Have the Bubble Belt Maverick, classic card. Pitch a Fanatical, keep 1 on top. We're just going to go to our turn. Another Galvanic is not bad. We're going to start just casting those on the end steps so that we can try to go for the burn win here, I guess. Lock in with the Maverick. Probably have a Deadly here. So close. Fanatical Offering. Could Smash to Smithereens this right now, but that leaves us open and doesn't seem that good. I prefer to save it for Sylvok Lifestaff or a Haunted Cloak or something, although I don't think this version usually plays the Cloak. No, I guess the green-black version does play the Cloak, but I think if you're playing Nightblade, you're not playing Cloak. I don't know. Who knows? Malevolent Rumble. They can take their pick of combo pieces, choosing the Basking Broodscale. Well, this makes me want to Galvanic them less, but I guess I will smash this map token. Now that they have the Broodscale, I know they still have the Rubble Belt, but we only have so much red. We might as well just get it happening. And it's still possible we can go for the burn win here. These guys only need to attack once more, hit with the Galvanics, and then one more damage. So if we get like an Epicure and a red or something. Play the Broodscale, Rubble Belt up the Broodscale. I think we got to shoot it because this is going to make it them have 3 blockers, and it's a 3/3, which is simply stops all of our damage from the Tomb Raider. So even though this is damage that could go at their face, I think it's going to even out. Plus, this hopefully makes it harder for them to combo. Maybe it makes it easier if they have another Unearth, but what are you going to do? Swing with these guys. Still will keep that Vault of Whispers pretty close. If we can cast both of these and hit with the Refurbished Familiar, we can get there. They're going to rumble again. Never stop rumbling. There's another Life Goes On, so they can't cast it. That's 3 they've brought in. Chooses the Slitherhead. That's an interesting one. I guess it's one they can cast here. They could have cast the Broodscale, though, off of a spawn. All they have is colorless mana, though, and we have a flyer for 2. This is 7, so I'm going to assume we can get them here. Cast the old Lightning Boot on the end step. That's what I said. Attack for sure. We'll attack. We'll both give them a Slitherhead in the grave, and then blast to the dome. All right, your life's not going on now. Nailed it. All right, on to the next match. Didn't even need a Card Clan Shaman. They just drew poorly, I guess. All their sideboard life gain, but nothing else. All right, let's send it back. I could bring in Spell Bombs because they play Unearth and Rubble Belt, but like it's just not great. This hand's not great either, but it has our Cart Clan and it has a Galvanic, and I really don't want to mulligan super low. I think that was our Mold of 5, wasn't it? Hey, praise me. They have a bridge. We're going to start with the Mountain, even though it gets us Metalcraft later. If they are playing any artifact removal, which I haven't seen, but if they do play into Glamour or whatever, I'd rather them take my second land than my first. Another bridge for them. We have an Epicure. That's not a bad draw. I mean, it's not an amazing draw, but it's something we can play to present some damage. Park Clan's too good to run it out just to like try to deal them 2 or 3 damage. We'd rather play it before they're going to potentially combo. We'd Rutherford be... Hey, they have the Broodscale. They're just going to go for it? That'd be insane. I could Galvanic here. They might have Tamiyo's or a... What's the other one? Snakeskin Veil. But then I just untap and Galvanic Blast it again? I think we go for it. No, I'd rather they just... I mean, they know we have it because we were just tapping for it. I'd rather they have to use this mana on their combo turn, right? So play this and pass, I guess? Like, if we can get them to use this on their combo turn, plus if they have to use, like, 2 mana to adapt this in order to trigger it, then, like, they're using a whole bunch of their mana, so I just prefer them to go for that. Plus, if we can get a Sadistic Glee out of it as well, that's good too, I guess. They're just gonna pass. God, I really don't want to blood token away any of these good cards, but we have no black. I think we gotta get rid of this Deadly Dispute. Yeah, I don't want to get rid of a bird. I like the birds too much. My biggest weakness is my attachment to that dang bird. They're gonna adapt the Broodscale right now. Do I want to kill it? Sure, let's kill it now. Why not? They have the Snakeskin Veil. Is it that important we kill it? Yeah, now that we don't even have 3 artifacts, which is probably what they were waiting for, we'll kill it. It's not great because if they have another one of the Broodscale, if they have another Broodscale, then they can play it, and we don't have the interaction now, which is why we're going to be forced to run out this Cart Clan Shaman, which is a little bit of a non-bow, seeing as we just played this other creature that's going to die if we sack 2 artifacts. But we just lose if they combo. So no matter how many cards you have to sacrifice to not get them to combo, you got to do it, you know? They have an Evolution Witness. That's a little annoying, honestly. Would love to draw a minor removal spell for that. But for now, let's just swing with these guys. They're not going to block. They're going to take it. We have a great Furnace, which sometimes I might sandbag for a blood token. With the Cart Clan, I kind of want as many artifacts on the board so that I can sacrifice as many artifacts as necessary. I will play the Familiar. Unfortunately, only 1 black mana, so can't play another Familiar. The mana in this deck is tough. Grixis Affinity is tough because you have 3 colors to work with, but most all of your lands tap for 2 colors, so it's not that hard to get there. This one, you have just the 4 bridges. Maybe I should play more tap lands, but it's hard when tap lands frickin' suck. Now, they're going for the Witness here, adapting it. I could sack an artifact and they could adapt again, but we could sack another artifact. They're going to get back the Broodscale. If I sack another artifact, though, I lose all of my ground creatures and all of our momentum. But if they get a Broodscale, I think we just let them have it. They get the Broodscale back, but that's fine, right? If they play the Broodscale, we'll just kill that. Problem is they also have a 4/3, so I guess our aggression on the ground is halted anyway. So that's not great. Play a Malevolent. Malevolent? What? Malevolent Rumble and get a Twisted Landscape or an Accursed Marauder. We're going to see the Marauder taken here. Marauder is not doing much at the moment because we're just going to sack like an Epicure that's already pretty irrelevant. But if they wait until, you know, all we have is birds or something, it could be pretty good. We got a Frogmite, which is really not good because what does it do? What does it freaking do for us? It's one extra artifact to sack to this Krark Clan. Okay, so we're swinging with the bird. I think we're swinging with these two. We lose the Tomb Raider here, but we're going to lose these guys to this guy anyway. We maybe get in for one more damage, which could be the difference if we end up drawing a bunch of Galvanics. I could theoretically also just Krark Clan here. Oh, I accidentally pressed 1. Well, isn't that the way it goes? Brutal, because if we played this bird, I think we have a good shot at winning. And since we didn't play it, I think we have a bad shot at winning. That sucks. Sometimes that happens. I'll often take my hand off the board just to make sure that won't happen. But this time, I did not. They do have the Unearth, so they're really trying to get it. I was probably going to play this Frogmite too, so I would have a Frogmite because they're trying to get us to sack either a bird or this Krark Clan Shaman. Is that annoying? Yeah, it's really annoying if they have another Unearth and are going to actually be able to get this because we're going to sack the Familiar because we're not getting rid of the Shaman until we win the game. They have a Life Goes On. That's fine. Annoying and would be much better if we had a bird or actually 2 birds in play right now because if we played this Frogmite then it would oh god, I hate this game. Let's play a Frogmite now before we've passed through our entire turn and a Refurbished Familiar to eat one of their last 3 cards, which is a Basking Broodscale. We still have a fair shot at winning this game. They don't have a lot going on. And we have a Lightning Bolt, which can take care of their combo, or maybe this Witness if they try to buff it up again. Rubblebelt Maverick is going to Scry Veil them a couple cards, binning not 1, but 2 lands. Play a Wellspring. I mean, they're low on cards, which I kind of enjoy. Can't say I hate it. They're going to play another Wellspring, sacking their Eldrazi Spawn. So I think I'm going to get aggro here, and I'm going to bolt their Witness. It means they can't get their stuff back. It means our Frogmite can start attacking. So we have a faster clock, and we still have the Krark Clan Shaman, but they only have 2 cards to go for the win. Oh, and there's a Galvanic. I could use it on this guy, but we're not doing that. This guy is better on the field for us, I say before I throw a 2/2 at it, but if they want to jump, that's fine. We gotta start attacking it. But Galvanic Blast is another piece of removal so that they cannot combo, and then also it's just some reach to shoot them in the face if we need to do that in order to win the game. They play a Forest and freaking pack it up. I mean, pass the turn. We get a Synth, which could be filled with Hopes and Dreams, or Smash to Smithereens. Now, I don't really want to smash one of these Wellsprings when they are sitting on the field without the ability to give them cards. So I think this is actually just a 2-mana Lightning Bolt, and we're going to blow up this Dark Moss Bridge, because what I do not want to do is give them more cards at the moment. But that's okay. Lightning Bolt still just means I'm going to finish my goddamn sentence. It means we have lethal on them next turn. Okay? Never mind. But we would have his Life Goes On. Look, Life Goes On is good in moderation, but the times I have seen it sideboarded in, playing against Broodscale, they draw 2 or 3 of them, and it buys them some time, but then they don't have time to do anything else because all they've drawn are Life Goes On. And then life ceases to go on. All right, we got a Blood Fountain. That's not a bad draw off of this cracking of the Synth. And we have a Tomb Raider. We were actually not going to play it, so I could leave up this Galvanic Blast, but they just saw the writing on the wall. They saw we had about a 2-turn clock on them, and they conceded. So let's go into round 5. All right, hand looks decent. A little awkward because we have Bridge. We could play Familiar turn 2, but we don't get the Blood Fountain down. I think we're going to keep, though. Nice interaction if we go up against another Broodscale or just like a fast Kuldotha. And just a solid hand. We're not going to get rid of this. Forest leads me to believe Ponza, just because that's the main green deck at the moment, but no turn 1 play is interesting. The other green decks would be Walls, Bogles, or Elves, all of which would also probably play a 1-drop. Probably Walls is the main one that might miss it. Looks like some form of turbo something. Turbo Initiative. Could just be green Stompy. Okay, Nest Invader. Interesting. The Galvanics are going to be good here against Stompy. Have not seen a Stompy list in a long time. I could just Galv Blast 2 things, but since they're 2/2s, I kind of don't hate playing the Familiar here, taking a card out of their hand, trading for a 2/2. I especially like this because we only have 1 black mana, so I like to use it when I can. So next turn, I could play like Blood Fountain and then throw down the Enforcer, or maybe just Blood Fountain and double Galvanic. They have a Bayou Groff. That's not bad, although it's going to die probably to this Galvanic Blast. And they have a Rancor. Okay, so we've seen all of their cards, and I'm prepared to say I think we win. I don't want to be too cocky, but they'd have to get a pretty good draw here, because I can, if I don't take this, I can play a Great Furnace. That puts us to 4 artifacts. Blood Fountain puts us to 6. I can play a Mirror Enforcer for 1, which blocks their Emissary. We can block their Nest Invader with our Familiar, and we have a Galvanic Blast for the Bayou Groff. So I think this turn I'm actually just going to take it, because if I could trade for the Burning Tree now, but then that means I don't get to hold up a Galvanic Blast for my Mirror. I don't get to hold up a Galvanic Blast after playing my Mirror Enforcer, which means that I have to either trade it for the Bayou Groff, so I don't like it quite as well. Synth's going to be good, but for now I'm just going to go with the plan, which is Blood Fountain. I might have miscalculated slightly. I still haven't played, or no, I did play a land. Okay, because I could have Synthed and then the Mirror Enforcer would be free. Now the Synth, I feel like I'm unlikely to get value because I don't have black up, and I might have messed that up a little bit. I don't think it's going to make a big difference, and I'm just going to play next turn. Play the Enforcer and pass. I should maybe just Galv Blast now because they have already shown they have a Vines in their deck, but I think it's going to be okay. They're going to swing with the Nest Invader. I could even just block here. I don't really hate losing the Enforcer here. If they go for any tricks, I have the Galv Blast, and if they don't, I just have these for the next 2 creatures. I think that's actually fine. Let's just do that. Plus, this means when they try to play Rancor on this Burning Tree, I can kill it, which loses them the Rancor. Nettle Sentinel is totally fine. That's just a 2/2. Yep, so they're going to cast that on the Burning Tree. We're going to shoot it in response, so the Rancor is permanently gone, and another Enforcer's great. Now we're going to play the Synth. See what we draw. Deadly Dispute's not bad. Still haven't played a land, so I'm just gonna crack the Synth here. A land is good, a 1-drop's good, a Frogmite's great. So play the Frogmite, play a Bridge, play an Enforcer, and pass. They're gonna have to have some pretty good draws to be able to match us here. And they concede. Yeah, so we have Krark Clan Shamans are great here. That can just wipe the board, and unlike a Ponza or a Broodscale or something like that, Stompy doesn't feel like it's going to have very much comeback potential. It does have a pretty fast start, but if we Krark Clan hit 3 or 4 of their creatures, that's probably just going to be the game. Don't need to bring anything else, so just some slightly slower cards. Blood Fountain. We're not the aggro here. We're the control, and Epicure isn't going to block almost anything they have. Most everything they have is going to be a 2/2. I actually don't hate cutting. Yeah, probably just the one Epicure. Epicure, Blood Fountain, and we just want creatures, so I don't want to cut like Frogmites or Enforcers. Maybe just one Ichor Wellspring. Actually, I like that for the Affinity. Let's get rid of the Fanatical Offering. This hand looks good. We have a lot of cheap 2/2s, which trade with their 2/2s pretty easily. A Lightning Bolt. We don't have anything that kills an X4, so if they get an early Bayou Groff, that could be a problem. We also do have a tap land on turn 1, which is going to be slow. They have an Experiment 1, but we draw a Krark Clan Shaman. We're just going to play the Bridge and pass then. I could have put down Furnace Tomb Raider to block, and then next turn play another Tomb Raider or something like that, but Shaman just makes it so even if we get behind for a turn or 2, it's not a big deal. They kept a 1-lander with only 1/1-drop. So that's interesting. We're going to actually become the aggro, I guess. I'm pretty confident we're going to win the control game here, but if they're only attacking for 1, we might as well just attack for more. They didn't even have a Rancor or anything to put on the Experiment 1. There's a Nettle Sentinel. Grow the Experiment and hit for 2. That's fine. Mirror Enforcer is really good. Let's start with a Synth. Don't think this can really go that poorly. I guess a Mirror Enforcer off the top would not be great, but a Bird is totally good. Takes a card from their hand, trades with a 2/2. We have 5, so I could play a Frogmite and then play an Enforcer. That seems pretty good, so let's just do that. Obviously, we have the Krark Clan if they get out of hand, and I don't necessarily love running out all of my ground creatures that may die to my own Krark Clan Shaman, but again, with 1 land on them, I think we just have the aggro matchup here. Yeah, I think we just are the aggro, that is. So we got a pretty quick last round against Greeny, you know, whatever they're called. I definitely don't think I've cracked the code with the exact list here, but I'm pretty happy with how it's been playing out. I'm getting a lot of 4/1s really close to that trophy. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.